Welcome to Chitta Chat, where we pay attention to our hearts and notice how we feel. I'm here with my gang here, sitting on the side of a hill, like we never do. This is Michael. I just didn't want anybody out there to think this is normal for us. This is Michael and Shannon and Sunil. So one at a time, I'm going to ask each of them how their hearts are, and maybe we'll have a little talk about that. Michael.
Yes.
How's your heart?
It's okay. It's good. It's all right.
Okay, all of those words need a little bit of explanation. Yeah.
I feel it feels kind of like nostalgic this week and maybe wistful a little bit, to be honest. So
Good.
I was hoping I could come and be like, oh, I feel great, but it's a little, nostalgic, wistful. I think those are the two best words to describe it. Yeah.
Good.
Probably because I just had a birthday, maybe.
Yeah.
You know how that happens?
Happy birthday.
I just turned 21 and
I know.
Yeah.
Well, now that you can drink.
Hard, yeah.
Yeah. Have you had your first drink yet?
No,
I know. Yeah.
Such a
Don't
baby.
spoil
No,
the
baby.
moment. Shannon, what about you? How's your heart?
My heart is a little broken.
Mm-hmm.
But ever since I was young, I always still have in my heart like a hopefulness of the future. It certainly has been tested.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm heartbroken, but I still feel like I can go on, and there's something in the future that will not unbreak it, but
Mm-hmm.
make the pain less. Yeah.
It's so interesting about us, isn't it, that we're such big containers. We can hold so much.
Yeah.
And it sounds contradictory to say I'm brokenhearted and hopeful, but if you weren't, right, that's kind of a bad story. But we can hold so many things at once. And it's so good to know that we're never just one thing. It's like when you jump in a cold lake. You don't become the cold lake, you're cold. And you can also be other things at the same time, and eventually you get warmer. I think that's very lovely. You never do lose hope.
No, I wouldn't be sitting on this rock.
I know.
And I'll do it.
I know.
If I was just heartbroken.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's wonderful, thank you. Sunil, what about you?
I'm feeling all kinds of things. There's a lot of joy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of anxiety going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's just a lot of, I think anxiety is a big word too, because it contains a lot of fears that I'm dealing with,
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I think around all of that is some optimism and hope that's driving me through any of that, It's a big old mix right now.
So what I'd like to do now with all of this richness of feeling that's going on is to sit for a minute and to explore where whatever the feelings are that you can identify, right? So maybe the anxiety, the sense of being heartbroken and hopeful, the longing or the wistfulness or the nostalgia, where are they located in your body? Because it's always interesting that we can talk about how we feel, but feelings aren't ideas. We're actually describing how we feel. And so to sit and really see how all of that feels, and you won't be able to do how all of it feels. We're going to sit for a minute, but let's see what we can do. All right, so you can close your eyes if that's comfortable for you, and on the bottom of your next exhale, just explore in your body where some of these emotions are living. And at the bottom of your next exhale, you can open your eyes and come on back.
See that little guy?
Yeah, we're in nature, guys.
How's your heart?
He's having a great
He's
day.
probably, yeah.
The sun,
Really
and
great.
yeah.
Pretty lizard.
It is really pretty.
Yellow and green.
So, Michael, the wistfulness, the nostalgia, where was that in your body? How'd that feel?
I feel like I always carry like that kind of feeling of sadness or nostalgia kind of in my stomach. And then I've noticed lately, because I've actually been doing your meditations before, acne work and all that stuff. And there's one where you talk about the hip bones, or the hips. And I don't know what, every time I get to that part of the meditation, I just start like sobbing sad. I don't know why. So there's like something to be said for like, I don't know if it's specific to me or everybody, but like carrying heaviness or sadness or nostalgia, wistfulness, whatever these words are to describe it in my hips. Yeah, I never would have known that.
I think
never
that's a
would
common
have.
thing.
Have you heard yoga? I've had yoga teachers say that.
Like you carry
You
your
release the
emotions in
emotion.
your hips.
Yeah.
In your hips.
Yeah, I used to take this yin class where you would hold the positions for a long time, and she would warn us in a hip opening position.
Yeah.
This is going to
Stuff is
get
gonna
you.
come up.
So yeah, something that we do store down there.
I never would have known to go there or realize that, but the first time I did that, it was like the second you said it, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
It's
we
really
go.
good.
Yeah, it feels good. It feels
Yeah.
releasing. But yeah, that's like a hot spot, I guess.
Well, that's actually really good to know. I mean, to know that if you are in a time where you want to reflect or you want to discover something, that's actually a part of your body you can go to sort of open those floodgates.
Yeah.
That's
quick,
really
yeah.
interesting. That's really interesting. Shannon, what about you? How did the heartbreak and the hopefulness feel in your body?
Yeah, I felt it mostly in my chest, which also kind of made me think, oh, I must have a little anxiety too, because I carry anxiety there. And a thought that came to my head while I was feeling these things was, I'm really heartbroken, but and it is the hopefulness is there, but it's really tiresome to keep that going.
Right.
So I realized like that's much more of an effort than it used to be.
Right.
Like so that's what I felt during it.
Good. And when the mind said, I feel more heartbroken than hopeful, was the body feeling
The
that
body
as well?
was feeling that, like it
Yeah.
all of a sudden just sunk and it felt heavy. And then I thought, well, where's the hope? Where's the hopefulness? And it just felt like I could call upon it, but it's an effort.
Right.
Yeah.
The heartbreak is still the dominant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. It's as painful as those things are to sit in, to know the sensations of them is almost relieving, because you realize that when you get down to it, it's all just sensation.
Sure.
It feels like this. Awful. But this, in fact, is all it is. Anything else is a story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? If you can keep the mind out of it, this is grief. Right? In Buddhism, they do this wonderful thing in some Buddhist schools where you, when they're describing an emotion, when you're describing an emotion you say, there is grief, there is heartbreak. You don't personalize it because it's not personal.
Right.
It's there. And it doesn't make it any better, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like,
No,
oh,
but
now I
like
feel
it's
amazing.
existing.
But it makes it a little less
Little
personal.
On its own, yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
separates
and
it.
it's like this is here.
You're not
I'm
judging it as much.
Right,
Yeah.
I'm sitting with this, and there's a little bit of hope down there,
Yeah.
which hopefully I'll feel a little bit more. Yeah, good. What about you?
You know, it's funny. I actually felt a lot in my face. Because there was a moment as I was breathing that it felt very fragile, you know? And so then I took another and usually I carry very much down here or up here. So then I took another breath. It was like right before we ended, and it was just like literally into my face, and the feelings changed. So like, and that was quite nice.
I think that a lot of times when there's anxiety, I know this, I do this too, and I think we all do when there's anxiety, and we don't want other people to know that.
Right.
And so we all have our little strategies, and yours might have to do a lot with setting your face a certain way.
Maybe, yeah.
So that it's, well, we all do this, right?
Yeah.
But some people more than others, and you have a very expressive face
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
So you probably have a lot of muscles working to keep you in that sort of look that allows you to go out in the world so that nobody knows that you're anxious.
Yeah.
And it's serious. Like when you do a body scan meditation, sometimes the face just aches, because if you're acting one way and feeling another, you gotta hold that.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's really sweet.
It is really sweet.
You noticed
well,
that.
His face,
It's-
you know, exactly.
Right when he said it, I was like, oh.
Of course, because that's Sunil's, big old expressive
Very
face.
sweet.
Yeah, good. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming out and being here with me and
Thank
sharing
you.
all
Thank
of this.
you.
Really
and,
It's such a
interesting.
beautiful place to be.
thanks for coming.
And beautiful people to be with.
And yes,
doing it
thank you.
together.
Oh, my boys.
I'm really happy. Bye.